as we welcome you to the Cougar Den Tom McKinney Court here at Bloomington High School North, Bloomington, Indiana. It is a little afternoon boys basketball between the Whiteland Warriors and the Bloomington North Cougars in JV action. Glad you could join us for North Cougar basketball on Smithville Sports. Alongside Jeremy Nutter, I am Nick Jenkinson. Jeremy, Bloomington North JV comes in 15-2. They're coming off a loss, though, Thursday night at Edgewood when they lost 64-63 in overtime.
Yeah, coming off a loss is hard, but, you look at both teams coming into this game, and you see a lot of opportunity for them to be able to bounce back. Whiteland isn't exactly in an incredible spot, but I think Bloomington North has an opportunity to come back from a loss and bounce back. And, every time we've been here, they've always played really well, especially the JV always seems to get wins.
Yeah, neither team has an advantage because Whiteland played Indian Creek the other night at home. So a noon JV tip, Varsity will tip at 1:30. Rare because unless you play in a tournament or one of those all-day events, you don't play afternoon games. Now, the only reason these two teams play an afternoon game is because the girls' sectional championships are tonight. So every boys' game is always played on this day during the day, so that fans who get the chance can go watch their schools compete for a sectional championship. Now, for both Bloomington North and Whiteland, that's not a problem because neither girls' team made the sectional championship, and we'll get into that. But this is one of those things where these teams probably practice at times during the day or after school. So this may be a little different to see their routine get a little changed up. Now, Bloomington North did play in a tournament down in Bedford after Christmas, so they're used to these 10 a.m. noon starts. At least Varsity has to be.
Yeah, I agree. I've played in a few games like that, and it is a little different, especially not playing at night, because you got to wake up. You got to wake up early and get going, and that's hard.
So we're going to look at the Whiteland Warriors. Number two is Drew Higdon, 6'2", sophomore. Dylan Gross, number 5, 5'10", sophomore. Brant Kuntz is 6'2" and a sophomore. Ethan Tanner is 5'11", sophomore, 32, and 35 is Brady Stanifer, 6'3", freshman for Eric Schneider. And now we'll look at the Bloomington North JV squad as they're going to get introduced here one at a time. That's Nate Hoffman, number 3, 5'10", sophomore. Bryce Petty, 5'11", freshman. Then Tyree Rochelle, 6'1", sophomore. One of the guys that I think is electrifying because this kid loves to try to dunk.
I remember him. He did get a dunk in Bloomington South game, and he tried to twice, but he only got that one. But I was going nuts.
Ryan Bramwell is 6'4", junior, number 30. Zach Rager, 6'5", junior, number 43. Jabril Conte, the head coach. Done a great job. 1998 Indiana All-Stars, I always mention, was on the last one-class state championship team in 97, who was coached by the name this court is named for, Tom McKinney, as Coach McKinney also led the Cougars to the 2000 state finals game with a couple of guys you may have heard, Jared Jeffries and Sean May. Lost to Marion and a guy named Zach Randolph in that final. But Tom McKinney, a legendary coach here at Bloomington North, and this coach, only coach that's taken North to the state finals
and like
in
you said,
school's history.
That's a lot of names that you recognize. Not too bad of a group.
As we are underway here, a couple shots missed, a lot of offensive rebounds, as Bloomington North early on dominates the glass and nothing doing so far for the Cougars.
I think they were trying to replicate Andre Drummond's amount of rebounds per game because they just padded their stats there.
If you want to go back in the day, you could go to Ben Wallace as well. As Whiteland gets on the board, whereas Ryan Bramwell misses the shot. Of course, underway here early on as they miss that out of bounds.
It does seem, though, that no one is scoring right now, and I don't think it's much of a choice either because they just can't seem to be putting it in the basket. Instead, crazy passes like this, unable to get they'll get a lot of offensive rebounds and can't put it back up.
There was a nice behind the back, and then again, both teams getting right in the passing lane, taken away. Now we got a foul called.
And we'll see. I mean, it is early, like we talked about. It is a little different playing in these early times. I remember a few times I played a lot of outdoor sports, never inside, so my early games were freezing cold most of the time. So at least they have warmth in here.
Yeah, we are indoors today, of course, thank goodness. Weather outside's a little nippy as it is stolen and scored by Ethan Tanner, and it's a 4-0 Whiteland lead.
And let's see what Bloomington North can do. I look a lot at Zach Rager in there. He every time we come and see him, he always seems to have a really good game. He seems like he's a solid player. As well as Nate Hoffman there with the ball. He always seems like he gets in your face. I remember the last game that we broadcasted, he was, by the end of the game, I think he was all over that guy. I think if that guy turned around right now, Nate Hoffman would still be next to him.
He plays lockdown defense, that's for sure. Bad bounce pass, and then Bramwell finds Rager. He gets fouled and scores and will go to the line.
There you go. So far, my prediction's right.
So Brant Kuntz with the foul. Zach Rager at the line, and he gets that one to go. Always important to note that between JV and varsity, you can play up to 5 quarters basically a day. So it's always important because you got guys like Rager and Bramwell who dress varsity, not always play a lot, but you got to manage those guys as quarters, and and it's usually Jace, the head coach, that's telling you, okay, this is what we plan for each player. So Hoffman inside, he gets fouled,
and I really like how North have played so far this season. I think they've played really hard. They've played very dynamic, especially with the JV. They have done a lot that is really good in just building up to that varsity level, where they're still playing the same type of basketball, where it's not completely different at the different levels. And I think it's really fun to watch too. They remind me, in a kind of odd way, of the Edgewood girls that we watch so often at the beginning of the season.
And the Edgewood girls fell short last night in the sectional semifinals to Brownstown Central, 48-28. But they had a good year. They end the year on a great. They end the year with 19-7. Carly Sherfield led the way last night with 10 points in that one. They played Northview the other night. That was a game I was at, and beat Northview 53-33. Double-doubles from both Trista Helms and Caden Harrington. And they're both back next year, as that will be a fun combo to watch.
It's a good team. It's a fun team to watch. I remember every time that we were able to go there and broadcast from there, it was always fun to see them.
Tyree Rochelle has picked up 2 fouls already. Drew Higdon at the line for Whiteland, 6'2" sophomore. He gets that one to go, and already Jabril Conte going to go to the bench and bring in DeJuan Daniels for Rochelle.
Let's see how Whiteland's full court press works.
Good pass from Petty, and Daniels with the finish.
And that's what's going to be able to beat that full court press, is a quick in and around. That way the zone isn't able to cover as well, because if you're able to move quicker, then everybody's just basically running around in a circle, turning their heads.
Bringing in, taken away by North. Here is Petty. Finds Rager. Double teamed. Rager still muscles the shot up and in. He's got 5.
That's a big boy move right there. He, 2 people just moved out of the way like they were nothing.
Rager, the junior, as big as, kid that brings a lot of size. And now we're going to see Josh Hanna off the bench, 6'3", sophomore, going to replace Bramwell.
And it seemed like Daniels and Petty were up there trying to do a trap off of the, like a half-court trap on the point guard, it looked like, which is kind of interesting to start off, and then they kind of go into their man-to-man coverage.
Inside, missed by Tanner. Rager with the rebound. Daniels going to slow it up. Hoffman wing 3, in and out. Last touch by Daniels, Whiteland ball.
Always a weird predicament whenever you don't have anybody taking out the ball.
It's the one importance of basketball. You got to have the inbounder ready to go at all times.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
Good ball movement by Whiteland. The ball hasn't really touched the floor, and it finishes in a 3 for Dylan Gross.
And that's what I'm saying. You move that ball quick down the court, and it's not gonna be easy to cover in a zone.
4 quick passes and then a 3 by Gross. And Whiteland's ahead by 2. Hanna can't muster up the shot. As Whiteland has it, they're going to go outside, and it's Gross again. His second 3, and it's quickly, it's a 5-point Whiteland lead.
And we'll see here. Whiteland is just all over Bloomington North, and Bloomington North looks like they're kind of asleep still.
Higdon misses, no call now. It's Daniels opposite end, and he gets it to Petty, and he lays it up and in for his first 2 of the game. And it's
I do have to say, with the full court presses they're doing, their half-court defenses are not doing too well, either teams. It's more missed shots than anything, because both teams' half-court defense is not doing too stellar.
13-10 lead for Whiteland. There is Higdon. He misses it. Tries to follow his own shot, and there's a foul called.
That'll probably needs to give him his eye back because it's on his finger. It looked like poked his eye out almost. That's a nasty one to always think.
Will Davis going to check in, number 33, replacing Higdon. And Ryan Bramwell is back in, replacing Zach Rager.
Oh, and it looks like Whiteland's going with a half court.
Approaching a minute to go. Hoffman, Petty 3. Off the mark, Daniels with the board. Now he gets instructions from Coach Conte.
And Coach Conte does have that booming voice wherever they could probably be playing in London right now and they could hear him because I remember we definitely have discussed this off air, but about how just loud and commanding his voice is. It really carries, and it's good for the players because they can hear him.
He's definitely, as Gross hits his third 3 and is fouled. Bryce Petty with the foul. That is the third team foul, first on Petty. Gross now in double figures with 10.
Let's see what they're going to do to end the quarter.
20 seconds to go here. Been a fast-moving first quarter.
That it has. I think they all want to get home and take naps.
As Hoffman misses, Bramwell. Rebound and put back, and that will do it for the first quarter as Whiteland leads Bloomington North 17-14 on Smithville Sports.
Smithville Media has produced stunning and engaging features and documentaries for over a decade. Local interest stories, interviews, commercials and event coverage are all part of what we do. Let us showcase your business or create a commercial for your promotions. We can even play your pieces during our live sports broadcasts. For details, speak with a Smithville representative or email media@smithville.com.
As we welcome you back to Bloomington North, you see Coach Jabril Conte. His team trails right now 17-14 against Whiteland here in the JV contest. Glad you could join us for North Cougar basketball and Smithville sports alongside Jeremy Nutter. I am Nick Jenkinson. Well, Jeremy, you were talking about Jabril Conte and his commanding voice. As we mentioned, he's a 1997 state championship, played in Indiana State, and as we talked about before another broadcast, always great to have guys that come back and coach their alma maters.
Yeah, and I mean, it's something really inspiring because you have a guy coming back who's obviously, he's not somebody who's just, a parent or something that's just going to come and coach the JV team. He's good. He knows what he's talking about, and he's wanting to coach up these kids, and it's a good asset to have and really look up to. You can be a role model for a lot of these kids and stuff. I know a lot of my coaches that I had in high school are just amazing men that I could look up to, and I think it's really cool to have somebody like that, especially on a JV team.
And a kid like having a guy like Coach Conte is a guy that's been through it. I mean, he knows it. He's been through it at the highest level. He played under a legendary coach in Tom McKinney. Won a state championship. Played in Division I, played overseas. He's had and now he comes back to Bloomington with his family, and he's got kids here in the school and coming up, and it's always a major asset to have.
And ultimately, it's something that a bit of respect can happen too, wherever you are. Not to say that you don't respect people who don't have that pedigree, but you can walk in and know people are gonna listen to you because, like you said, he's done it all. I did notice too on that last layup we were talking about Coach Conte, Whiteland, they didn't really go up for a block or anything. They just kind of stopped. That's kind of interesting on the defensive side. I normally want to contest a shot, but I guess maybe he just didn't want to go up with a foul. But interesting to look for here.
As Gross missed his first three of the game just a minute ago. But then Will Davis drains the three, and Whiteland's got 4 threes and a 4-point lead.
I think their coach told them they're not allowed to shoot inside the arc. I have a sneaking suspicion because they made a lot of threes.
We had this game 2 years ago when Whiteland won by 15. Same scenario, an afternoon game where North just didn't really show up. They had an emotional game against Edgewood 2 days before, and they just really weren't ready to come out and play. Whiteland kind of did the same thing. They like to drain it from the outside as Nate Hoffman misses that one.
See, it's a good move. Like, that was a great move by Hoffman, but you got to finish it, You just got to finish it, and that's what Whiteland are doing.
And there's your points inside for Brant Coons as he scores, and it's 22-16.
I think the big area where both teams can improve right now is definitely on their defensive side, getting those rebounds, being able to box out, and just staying on your man right now. Whiteland's playing a zone.
Petty misses or gets knocked out of bounds. Miles Frank is in for the Cougars, replacing Hannah and Hoffman along with Rager.
See how the inbound goes.
Tyree Rochelle remains on the bench with 2 fouls that he picked up early in the first quarter. That's missed. Here comes Whiteland. Good bounce pass. And then he just ran out of room, but they're going to call the foul on the Cougars. Will Davis just ran out of room but gets bailed out by the foul call.
That's always rough because you do so much work, and then all of a sudden you're running down the court and you get all excited and you pass, but it's like 9 feet ahead, and so you end up passing out of bounds or running out of bounds. But luckily they got a push call on that.
So Coach Conte calls a timeout. We're talking about the 97 state championship team. They went, if I recall, 27-1. Their only loss was Anderson that year, beat Kokomo and then Delta in the state title game. But I mentioned the story before that they had a big feature about Bloomington North because of the proximity to Indiana University. Bloomington North does get a lot of kids that were born outside the United States. And on that team, they had 4 kids born outside the United States, with Jabril Conte originally being from Mali, Kwetawani being from the South Sudan, Mario Waisang, who had a great career in his homeland of Indonesia, and Jay Robles from the Philippines. And Bloomington North, they did this story like these kids came off the plane that year, like they went on this world recruiting tour and brought these kids in. Well, I grew up with all those guys, and those guys had all been here for several years, so it was not anything new. It was just, I guess, unique because of how diverse Bloomington North is, as a school with kids, being, with basically IU feeding with Bloomington North being in the same, IU being in their district. It was one of those kind of unique stories that I guess you just don't see all the time. As Brady Stanifer scores here.
You know when 1997 was? Another cool thing that happened in 1997?
What's that?
I was born.
You were born.
So how does that make you feel?
You just made me feel very old.
I feel
because that was the year that that was my senior class. All those guys on that team were the guys that were seniors that year, like Mario. They were my class. So, yeah, thanks a lot, Jeremy. You made me just feel really old.
Hey, someday somebody's going to tell me about 2016 was the year that they were born, and I'm going to say the same thing to them. I won't have his notable names, though. I may. Who knows what people are going to do, I guess.
Of course, we just lost a great one a couple years ago, or about a week ago in Kobe Bryant.
Oh, yeah.
Legendary player. And there is Dylan Gross with his 4th 3 of the ball game. It's a 12-point lead.
And
Petty answers it on the other end.
Now, Nick, I was playing intramurals this week, intramural basketball, and there was a guy who was as about on fire as I could see ever, and there's some players on the floor tonight that look like that, who are making threes like no one's business.
There's a steal. Frank up ahead to Daniels. Daniels has 6. Pace has definitely quickened here in this second quarter.
All the cereal and orange juice is finally entering the bloodstream, I think, from the morning. All the cinnamon rolls and stuff.
But we're talking about Kobe Bryant. 41 years old when he was killed in a helicopter crash in California along with his daughter. As Gross drains his 5th 3 and the lead is 10. But Kobe Bryant, 41 years old, he is just a couple months older than me, so it puts in perspective how that things can happen at any time and how precious life is. So
I know one of our coworkers, he texted me about it, and it was like, what in the world? Like, I didn't understand what it meant, but then it was like, that's weird. It just feels weird, it feels different, but that definitely was something huge.
There is Petty. Frank cannot handle it and goes out of bounds.
And that's what I was saying about that excited pass. All of a sudden you're going down the floor and you pass it and you hit the wall.
.147 to go. We'll have a great halftime feature. And then, of course, coming up, here's Gross. He cooled off a little bit, missed that one.
He's feeling it. I think he's going to have a few more 3 attempts by the end of the game, probably by the end of the quarter.
He's got 5 threes already. Frank inside, missed it, rebounded by Stanifer.
That is the story of this Bloomington North JV team this morning. They have so many chances, but their field goal percentage, I would guess, is below 30%.
Still no Tyree Rochelle. He's been on the bench, saddled with those 2 fouls. First on Dylan Gross. Nate Hoffman checks back in to replace Frank.
And as you see here, you're able to see the zone that Whiteland's playing as like a 2-1-2 kind of zone, or like 4 out, 1 in, which is interesting. And now Bloomington North is in a similar zone in a 2-3.
Of course, Drew Higdon's been on the bench for Whiteland. He's been saddled with his 2 fouls.
Fouls are never fun, that's for sure. I don't know if they're going to hold it for the next 40 seconds, but that would be quite the thing. I saw a game, and the game ended 18-16 because there was no shot clock in the state, and it was high school girls basketball, and they held it for 6 minutes. They held the ball for 6 minutes. It ended 18-16.
So this brings up the argument, does Indiana need a shot clock?
I think it wouldn't be bad to put like a 40-second shot clock, like kind of like a countdown on football, play clock.
There is Petty inside, and Whiteland going to get the shot off, no good, and it's going to take us to the half with a Whiteland 31-25 lead on Bloomington North. As we look at the highlights, there's a nice lay-in for Ethan Tanner. Rager inside doing the dirty work tonight. 7 points already for Rager, but Whiteland going right at Bloomington North as well. But Dylan Gross going bananas from outside the arc with 5 threes so far. Good pass inside to DeJuan Daniels. There is Whiteland getting the job done inside and out, as Bryce Petty will finish there for the Cougars as we're at halftime. Whiteland 31, Bloomington North 25 on Smithville Sports.
Indiana is known for its limestone. In fact, Indiana limestone is used all over the world. But every year here in Ellettsville, Indiana, the Limestone Symposium happens. Let's find out a little bit more about that.
My name is Amy Breyer, and I'm a co-founder of the Indiana Limestone Symposium. It's a 3-week-long event held every June. This is the 23rd year, and we have carvers who come from local and all over the country to carve limestone and be together and make a lot of dust and noise and have a good time. The limestone is soft. It finishes with a chisel. There's no polishing and all the processes that one goes through with marble. And it's also kind of our American stone. It's the what we call the fabric of many, many historic buildings and monuments and state houses, and even down to porch steps and door sills. I think it's in every state in the contiguous U.S., and it comes from right here. All throughout Europe is a tradition of stone symposium. The first one I saw was in Carrara, for example. They took a piazza, they put about 8 or 10 quarry blocks of marble in the piazza, then they invite artists to come, carvers to come and work on site. It's a public event, everybody watches. So I came here and thought, why isn't there one here? It's the perfect place. So this one is really a workshop, although we call it a symposium.
My name is Kathy Haggerty. I have several businesses in this county, so I'm a pawnbroker. I also deal antiques and collectibles, and I love limestone carving. I'd advise anybody to give it a try. You know, you never know till you try something. I was intimidated. I thought, oh, I'm not a professional. There's all these people that are going to know what they're doing, and I just can't do it. I came anyway, and I say it's been probably 8-9 years. I come back every year. There's no pressure. There's no competition. You're not here to compete with anybody. I do things, I guess you'd say they're much more whimsical because they're fun. You know, I've got the fat cat I did. I have 2 gargoyles I've done before. I did a big horse head one time. They're things that I just want to do. They're not necessarily a big art piece for money for anybody. There are people here that are professional that do that do big pieces that are installed across the nation or the world. I do it for fun. I do. It's just fun if somebody can look at a piece and smile and go, that's what it's all about.
Walking around the symposium work area, I got a chance to speak with some of the sculptors.
What I'm doing right this morning is what's called getting off the block. I spent the first couple of days establishing my profile, getting an opening, at least part of my opening, my hole through the piece that's planned to be in the piece. Actually, the hole is to make it easier to flip when we need to pick it up and things like that as well. But establishing it, then this morning, I'm taking my tools and starting to round the edges of the piece, since this is going to be basically a big teardrop shape. And then I'm going to lay in the different parts of texture when I get ready a little further along. But today is getting off the block. As you see with the lines drawn here, these will be different sets of texture on the piece when it's finished. But really what you do out here, since you're given 8 cubic feet of stone to work with, or can have up to that big a block, you do your design and then scale it up. Because my point of me coming is to be able to work as big as possible when I've got the equipment, access to the equipment to handle it, particularly at the front end. Because it's much safer for them to be handling a sawed side block that can slip, the straps can slip on, than it is for me to have one shipped and dumped on my sidewalk and then kind of go, okay, have fun. You know? No, this is much safer. And like I said, the camaraderie is just a nice, big and nice extra.
I'm Cheryl Lawrence. I live in Indianapolis and teach at Ivy Tech Community College, Fine Arts there. And I've been coming to the symposium since 2012. At that time, I still lived in New Mexico, and I was thinking about moving here. And then I did move here, and I thought, now I have the best stone right in my backyard. So I've been coming since, and I've made a whole new group of sculpture friends here.
Good deal. So we've headed over here a couple of days back, and there was just a chunk of limestone here, just a big chunk of limestone. And in that time, you created something absolutely incredible here. You're working from this little model here, right?
Yeah, it's epoxy clay, so it hardens, which is great out here because it doesn't soften up on me or, melt in the heat.
Okay.
And I can handle it without it distorting.
And that is going to be that, or a version of that.
I like to work from a plan, but I like the spontaneity that happens when you carve the stone.
Right.
Because you just kind of, it's also bigger. You just kind of start to get to dance around it and explore new possibilities. And I like to just let that happen and solve it as I go.
We also got a few words from John Fisher, a master carver and one of this year's featured instructors.
I want to teach a certain method of carving. So I believe it's the ancient method of carving, but that method has been lost over the centuries.
So what is this ancient method? What's different about it?
The difference is basically you should never look at the front of your chisel. You should never be able to see the front of the chisel. Because if I'm seeing the front of the chisel, I'm looking at the stone I'm taking away, which is my waste material. Okay. So if you carve the material in front of you, this material is backed up by material, and so it's harder to take off. However, on the very edge, what I call the profile is not a volume, it's a line. And that line, you can say, is either correct or incorrect. And if it's incorrect, you could draw a new line, and then you put your chisel on the line, and you hit, and you're looking behind your chisel, and the chip flies away from you, and it breaks exactly on the line.
Okay.
So I draw a new line.
Right.
So that's my new line.
Gotcha.
I put my chisel right on the line, and I hit, and it breaks right on the line.
Breaks away from
And
you.
so now I have a new line, and if that line was the line of a shoulder or a knee or whatever, then I've defined that line. I don't have to think about volume, because this will always be volume. What has to be correct is that every line is correct as I walk around it.
Although Sharon worked extensively on her piece at the symposium, she decided to complete it after returning home to South Carolina. Cheryl didn't finish her piece during the symposium, but she did send us photos of her finished gorilla.
We have a website, limestonesymposium.org. Tons of information there, videos, all sorts of things.
We welcome you back to Bloomington High School North Tom McKinney Court here at the Cougar Den. Halftime of the JV contest, Whiteland leads Bloomington North 31-25. Glad you could join us for North Cougar basketball on Smithville Sports, a little Saturday afternoon edition. I am Nick Jenkinson alongside Jeremy Nutter. Jeremy, while most of these guys are probably still waking up, Dylan Gross has the hot hand. He got up and he has fired 5 threes to lead Whiteland in scoring with 16 points.
I suspect that he had 5 hour energy and woke up at about 5 a.m. raring to go today, because he is on fire. Where it looks like Bloomington North, had some Cheerios, had some Wheaties, but maybe had a little bit of heavier stuff like frozen pizza or something this morning, because the way Whitefield is moving, or Whiteland, sorry. They're definitely moving a lot quicker, and a lot more points are being scored.
And Tyree Rochelle back in the game wearing 21. He picked up 2 fouls early on in that first half. Also, Drew Higdon's back in that first quarter. There is the pass inside to Rochelle, and he is on the board. You see that athletic ability that kid has. He could definitely be a future for Bloomington North.
We talked about earlier, right? That dunk in the Bloomington South game, and wow. There you go.
Drew Higdon answers. He's got 7 now.
And that's a smart play now.
Petty misses everything on that one, and a rebound to Brady Stanifer. Here is Whiteland moving the ball. Good pass inside to finish for Ethan Tanner. He's got 4.
And see, my philosophy is, why go for 3? You just gotta, every possession, 0-0, and you just gotta win it. Every possession you gotta win it, and going for 3 a lot in Bloomington North situation is not the smartest thing unless it's super open, or they're hot. So hopefully we'll see them be a little smarter with their shot.
Zach Wager scores the ball. Kid's stuck on the rim. That's a jump ball, and it will be possession arrow to Whiteland. So Warriors up 6.
They're playing some tight defense. Definitely some talks about defensive play.
Ball is tipped out, and Tanner had to chase it down way in the backcourt. Now they get it across. Rochelle with the assignment on Gross. I'm sure that is one point of emphasis Coach Conte told his team at halftime is do not give Dylan Gross an inch of room.
I could probably say that as well, because it, the talk is probably, maybe put a hand in his face or try and block him on that outside, because he will make those shots.
Rochelle's going to try the outside shot, and he buries it. He's got 5.
I want to see how many three-pointers are going to be made by the end of this game, because so far there have been plenty. And it doesn't seem like anybody's stopping anytime soon and trying them.
There is, as on cue, that one missed by Tanner.
He heard me.
Hoffman with it. Gonna give it to Petty. Petty inside. Rager, he can't finish, and then Gross with the rebound.
And I've noticed, too, with the reffing in these JV games are a lot more relaxed, per se, because, I'm not a ref. I'm not in charge or anything like that. But I just would say that what happened to Rager just then would have been called a foul in a varsity game.
As Bryce Petty scores, he will go to the line. That is on Brady Stanifer, his second, team's first to half. Bryce Petty at the line, the freshman, so far 11 points. As we're going to see Quinn Warwig in the game for the first time. He wears 25, 5'11", sophomore for Whiteland. Checking in now, Petty now with 12, 35 to 37, Whiteland on top.
A heavy full court press there on the inbound.
And Gross gets is guarded by Rochelle. Inside finish for Coons is good.
And Gross is looking like that he, that he's going to play that draw out and be able to get away from the
Rochelle drains it opposite side of the court. He's got 2 threes and 8 points. Lead is cut to 1.
And they're trying to suffocate them with this full court press. Defense was definitely preached in this halftime team talk, because I don't know about you, but it looks completely different out there for me from Bloomington North.
I would assume, knowing Coach Conte the way I do, that he was very vocal and emphasized what his team has to do. As he's gotten a little, you can see right there, he's gets that timeout. He wasn't very happy with his team, as he, he's emphasizing what they've got to do and what they're not doing right.
There was a time that a coach of mine in high school soccer, he took us behind a tree that we had near our field, and in a gym you couldn't do this, but he yelled very loudly at us, so loud that the parents on the other side of the field could hear him, because we weren't doing too well. So getting a point across is definitely something that I know true and well, and that he definitely did defensively, because it looks like they're executing well.
The other guy the other assistant on the Bloomington North bench, Mike Sikinik, for the Cougars. Whiteland again coached by Eric Steiner, located in Johnson County, just south of Franklin. It's a program that Whiteland in their years, 5 sectional titles, last come in 2002, 1 regional championship. They're in the Mid-State Conference with Plainfield, Decatur Central, Greenwood, Perry Meridian, Franklin, Mooresville, and Martinsville. Their sectional is Sectional 13, Class 4A, Greenwood, Franklin Central, Center Grove, Shelbyville, and Franklin.
I have a sneaking suspicion there's one school in there that does pretty well amongst the others, especially last year, Center Grove.
And it looks like, speaking of Center Grove, I'm hearing rumors, not sure that it's true, but I've been hearing that Tavon Jackson, the younger brother of IU freshman Trace Jackson Davis, no longer on the Center Grove team. Basketball, wants to concentrate on football.
Interesting. Well, hey, I mean, you got something in you like that makes you good at different sports. You might as well try to see which one you like the best and pursue it, because that's a lucky thing to have. A lucky aspect to have is to be able to do all those things in different sports.
Zach Rager draws the foul. We're going to see Dylan Gross at the line, 16 points in the first half, and he misses that one. We're going to see Bramwell and Daniels back in for.
And these free throws are big too, because they'll be able to create a little bit of separation between them.
Gross hits the second one. He's got 16. Lead is still 2 for Whiteland. Approaching 2.5 minutes to go. Rochelle throws a bullet pass into Hannah. He can't handle it, and Whiteland takes it away. There is Higdon. Wild shot. Here comes North. And then Petty just over the head of Daniels out of bounds.
Like I said, they just call it differently in these JV games. Stuff like that and different things. It is interesting to see. It's nice because, you let them play more. And people, may want the varsity to go or different things schedule-wise. But they do call it a little looser, it seems like, in the JV games.
There is DeJuan Daniels. Bramwell follows it up and gets his 4th point. Now we're tied at 40. Team's definitely waking up in the second half.
And there is definitely a difference whenever Rochelle's on the court. Seeing him make threes, seeing him being on defense, he has made a difference. And that shows whenever he gets in that foul trouble that he'll really impact the team.
Misses that one, does Whiteland. Higdon has it, guarded by Petty. 3 from the outside is no good. Daniels with the rebound. Up ahead, Hannah, and he finishes.
And there you go.
North
Cougars with the lead.
With the lead for the first time in a long time. Approaching a minute to go here in quarter number 3.
And it's been down to defense. And as I say that, they did a few defensive blunders there, but it has been down to defense that they've been able to get back into this game.
Brady Stanifer finishes the bucket. He'll go to the line. He's got 4. They're going to get Josh Hanna for the foul. That's his second, team's second. Whiteland, Stanifer with 5 and now a 1-point lead.
It's going to be an interesting fourth quarter between both of them. I think, and this is a bold statement, whoever plays the best defense is going to win. That's what I think. Because now they're starting to score. Now they're in rhythm. Now defense is going to really matter.
Bryce Petty with the bucket. He's got 14 for the Cougars. Up 1. Good play inside for Stanifer. And he's got 7.
Whiteland back in the lead. Flip-flop, flip-flop, flip-flop.
Back and forth, about 20 seconds to go here in quarter number 3. Oh, Hannah wide open, and he can't handle it, but he saves it to Rochelle. I mean, he called for the ball. Petty threw it in there, and then he couldn't hang on.
And he was in a beautiful spot because his defender was ball watching.
Rochelle floated through the lane and gets fouled and will go to the line.
Yeah, that was a good call. That was definitely a good call down low, but it was just, you got to catch it. Got to catch it. I know there's been a few times whenever, you play pickup or different things and you'll get ball watched or something, and then all of a sudden you call for it and it slips through your hands like that, but it's easy stuff like that. And then in games like this really matter because then the Cougars would have been in the lead probably going into halftime. Or getting into the fourth quarter, sorry.
As Rochelle hits both, 45-45. 2 seconds, Higdon 3. Off the mark, and we are going to go to the fourth quarter, tied at 45 between Whiteland and Bloomington North here on Smithville Sports.
Whether it's countertops, an outdoor kitchen, or a custom shower, Inside Out Kitchen and Bath can make your ideas reality. Based locally in Ellettsville, our staff have over 30 years experience in the business and the dedicated ability to get your job done right. Stop in and see us at 4053 North Centennial Drive in Ellettsville, just opposite Arby's. Visit our website at www.iokb.us or give us a call at 812-803-8005. We'll help you complete your project inside and out.
We welcome you back to the Cougar Den here at Bloomington High School North Tom McKinney Court. Tied at 45 between Whiteland and Bloomington North. Again, varsity to follow 20 minutes after the conclusion of this one. Girls sectional championships tonight around the state of Indiana. couple of all the Monroe County schools are now out. Bloomington South and Edgewood lost last night, and Bloomington North lost the other night to Columbus North. So no girls sectional championship games of Monroe County interest, but definitely Bloomington South will be hosting one between East Central and Columbus North tonight. And Owen Valley's got one between West Vigo and Brownstown Central. So we're underway here in the fourth quarter. Nick Jenkinson alongside Jeremy Nutter. And Jeremy, it's been that third quarter was back and forth.
Yeah, third quarter was Bloomington North getting back in the game, and then it just went flip-flop, flip-flop, flip-flop. And now we're going to see who's going to be able to play better defense this quarter because they're going to win the game.
So Bloomington North with the ball out of bounds. Whiteland had a shot at it at the end of the third quarter as Drew Higdon just had a nice look at it, and it just bounced out.
Yeah, I was wondering why. I don't know who it was, but there was an open man out on the perimeter, and he decided to go for the double coverage person right underneath the basket.
And there is Dylan Gross for an outside shot, and it's short. Up ahead, Tyree Rochelle, and he lays it up and in. He's heated up after a scoreless first half. He has come to life here in the second.
And there's Nate Hoffman, who I remember is very scrappy and very in your face. And there he is being scrappy and in your face, trying to get the ball.
So Nate Hoffman picks up the foul, his first, team's third. There is a shot, no good. And then that was saved by Whiteland. Or Whiteland will have the ball. Out of bounds, down 2. A lot of contact, no call.
And Coach Schneider didn't like that. He did not like that call.
I think Coach Conte thought maybe Higdon went over and back, that his foot landed in behind the timeline, but refs did not call that.
I think it may have been a cancel out. And Bloomington North's defense, as the game has gone on, has just gotten better and better.
They're going to call the foul before the shot. They're going to call Zach Rager with his second. And the team's fourth. 5:42 to go here. Nice play, but Gross tries to find Higdon on the alley-oop, and it went out of bounds. Touched by Whiteland, Bloomington North ball.
Yeah, it was hard to alley-oop whenever he probably can't get the dunk, and then he jumps from about the free throw line. But that's a cool play. I remember there was a time whenever Courtney Lee did that for the Magic to tie a game, a layup from half court. And it's pretty cool whenever it happens, that's for sure. Just didn't click.
Rager in and out. Rebound to Stanifer. Whiteland could tie or take the lead on this possession. Down 2, approaching 5 minutes to go. Cougars have only lost 2 JV games on the year as Higdon misses Petty with contact. Hoffman bounce pass into Petty. Finds Bramwell, and he gets fouled, scores the bucket, will go to the line.
And Coach Conte, you just heard him yell, go, go, go. And they went. Hoffman was running, that's for sure. And, yeah, I don't know. This second half, they've just been a different team, and it's shown in how they've been dominating possession, defense, and everything.
And if you notice, Tyree Rochelle, he picked up those 2 fouls early on, and he hasn't fouled since.
And that's
Coach Snyder is going to call a full timeout here with 4:50 to go. Well, while we have a minute, we want to thank our crew, the hardworking women and men behind the scenes. Rob Ramsey, our director and technical director, Nate Alicon on replays. You and I doing commentary. Our camera crew, Noah Baraja, Sam Malloy, Catherine Janchowski, always doing a great job. Up and early on this Saturday morning.
Yeah, big thanks to you Nick, for the donuts as well. I know that my face has been stuffed full of them.
I've had a couple myself, and it's always it's a pleasure. When we got an early crew call, 9 a.m. crew call. You gotta take care of your crew and feed your crew. So happy to bring in some donuts and take care of you guys. A busy day of basketball in the state. It's Basketball Day in Indiana, which Fox Sports, it's a collaboration with Fox Sports Indiana and the Indiana Pacers to basically celebrate basketball in this great state. So they have 4 high school games going today at Memorial Gym in Kokomo, which is one of the historic gyms in the state of Indiana. And it kicked off at 10:30 a.m. with Kokomo beating Tipton 66-61. Northwestern and Peru are playing now. Crispus Attucks and Fort Wayne Blackhawk Christians at 2:30, which has Caleb First, 6'11" junior. Every big guy, every player, a lot of the big schools are going after him. IU, Purdue, North Carolina, you name it. And then Westfield and Fishers play at 4:30 up there. They also have a girls sectional championship game going to be streamed on ISJTV.org tonight at 5:30. McCutcheon against Northwestern, who is the #1 team in 4A and the favorite to win the state championship, with 2 Big Ten players in Madison Layden going to Purdue and Kendall Bostic going to Michigan State. Saw them over Christmas, and they are the real deal.
They are.
They are the real deal.
That's always cool.
Layden, the game I saw, she broke the Howard County scoring record and had 41 that game against Mooresville.
That's not bad. That's not a bad night.
So they're a good team, and then of course they will show the New Orleans Pelicans are in town with some guy, some Zion Williamson dude.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. And the brother of the Holidays. I think he may be on there too.
And Lonzo Ball.
Mm-hmm.
So the Pelicans names. And the Pacers tonight as well. So again, it's Basketball Day in Indiana, celebrating all things basketball in this great state.
Yeah, maybe watch the movie Hoosiers if you have some time today.
That's a great movie as well.
Classic.
Petty took it away, or tipped it away. Higdon can't finish. Rager with the rebound.
I think there has been a few minutes of no scoring here, Nick, because I know since the time we've been talking, no one's made a basket.
So 49-45. Don't forget, we're on YouTube, youtube.com/Smithville Media. You can search Smithville Media or subscribe to Smithville Media channel on YouTube. So Cougars up 4. Bramwell with it, 3.5 minutes. Rochelle inside. Rager finishes. I'll tell you what, Tyree Rochelle, not only he's been scoring in this second half, Jeremy, he's been sharing the ball too. He's made some very good passes.
And that's huge for players like that, because you can have players like that who get hot and are really good, but then they just get hot and they're really good. They're not going to share the ball, do assists. They're going to do the James Harden or do the no pass but 90 field goal attempts, But yeah, it's really cool to see that he's sharing the ball a lot, that he's doing the right stuff. And what was I? I was watching something, or no, it was at the there was a dinner the other night, and there was the IU coach was there, the football coach, and he said if you want to stand out and be the big dog, then you end up not going to be recognized because we're not going to do well. But if the whole team works together and you're not, putting your own head up, then you'll be recognized and people will know your name. And so there you go. That's a way to start. JV basketball is a good place to begin that method and headspace.
There's a saying, teamwork makes the dream work. So
there you go. Someone was smart, probably came up with that.
Yeah. So coming up, it's the varsity game between these two. Bloomington North will come in with a 15-4 record. They beat Edgewood 68-41 on Thursday night over in Ellettsville. And, the one, Jeremiah Blair led the way with 17. Nick Kleiber had 16. Aaron Steinfeld's been a double-double machine. He's got 4 double-doubles on the season. He had 11 and 10 against Edgewood Thursday night. For Edgewood, Trevor Taylor, who's been back since January after his suspension, 18 points. Coleman Sater, 10 points. Last week against Monrovia, Coleman Sater went for 35 points and 10 rebounds.
Jeez, I didn't know they had KD on their team or anything. Oh, never mind. KD is injured. Who else is doing good right now? We'll go with Devin Booker.
There you go.
Devin Booker, or some other snub from the All-Star game.
You always got to get those NBA references in.
Yeah, I know. Or Trae Young, you know.
So here is Gross, gets the shot up against Rochelle. He has definitely cooled off. Can't get that one to go. And that's been the difference in the second half, is the way, as you mentioned earlier, the way Rochelle has been the glue on defense.
And what's big too is that if you saw down there, Rager literally could have let the ball bounce about 9 times without a Whiteland player within 10 feet of him. And you always want to go in there on those offensive rebounds. I'm pretty sure that'll be in the tape, and the coach will let him know to do that. But you just can't. You just got to follow your shot. The big man's got to be down low, and if you're not down low, you're just basically giving free points, free possessions to the other team.
Ryan Bramwell finishes. He's got 8 rather. Whiteland can't score. There's Rochelle with the rebound.
And that's the thing. If you just can't move it.
So Coach Conte is going to call another timeout. And it will be a 30. He's got 1 left. Whiteland's got 4 left. So with 1:26 to go. As you see, it looks like Coach Conte checking out Bryce Petty, just making sure he's all right.
And I do have to say, JV teams, they're fun. They're fun, and they're exciting because, depending on the coach, Coach Conte seems like a pretty intense coach. I've had intense coaches, but also some fun coaches. But, it's just, there's less pressure. It's more development. People who know will just join for the heck of it, will be on those teams, and your friends will play together. At least that's my experience. And so there's a lot of fun memories on JV teams and stuff. And also, you're going and playing at different schools and different stuff, and you're setting up for the varsity team. And normally you're younger, so it's still in that transition from middle school. And so there's just a lot of fun stuff that happens on JV teams that I can remember.
As we got about minute 25 here to go before the varsity. Whiteland will come in with a 4-12 record. It's been an up and down year. They started 0-5, then won 3 straight, went 0-7 until they beat Indian Creek on Thursday, 66-65. There is a foul on the Warriors. And that is Quinn Warwig. Of course, Whiteland with a new coach this season, replacing Matt Wadsworth, who's now the head coach at Edgewood. So what?
Big running around.
Yeah, so Edgewood is 9-10 on the year. They are off until next Saturday when they host Orleans. That will be our next broadcast a week from today, as Edgewood at Orleans. We'll get to see Trevor Taylor for the first time this season after, of course, he was been out due to suspension until he came back in January. So first time to see him. He's done a great job since coming back. 159 points in 9 games, averaging 17.6. Edgewood's 5-4, though. Edgewood's on a little bit of a slide, losing her last 4 after they started 5-0 with him back in the lineup. Higdon misses that one. Rebound to Whiteland. Inside, no good for Tanner Rager with the rebound. Now a foul on the Warriors.
Coach Conte telling them to be a little stronger with that down there. But you were talking about slides, and whenever you say slides, you're talking about how Whiteland's not doing too hot this year. And if you look at it from 2016-17 season, they were 15-8. The year before, 15-16, they were 17-6. And then 17-18, they went 11-13. 18-19, they went 9-14, and now they're 4-12. So it's just doesn't seem like to be trending in the right direction, and that's kind of rough to see.
There's always some up and down years for sure. Bloomington North trending upward though in the last couple of years after some struggles. This will tie a win today will tie their best record since 2014-15 when they went 16-9. They also went 16-9 2013-14 when they won the sectional and regional and lost to a guy named Trey Lyles in Indianapolis Tech in the semi-state.
I remember my high school played that team as well. That team was, let's just say he was an all right player. He was an all right player.
Mr. Basketball in the state of Indiana that year, went to Kentucky for a season, and now is playing in the NBA.
I remember that season was really weird with that Kentucky team because I just there were 7 one-and-dones on that team or something like that, something crazy where that whole team basically came for a seat because there was Anthony Davis. Who else was on that team? Anthony Davis. There was so many amazing players on that team, but it was so weird because there really hasn't been everything like it because everybody knew that they were just going to Kentucky for that 1 year, win the national championship, and then leave. Pretty much it.
Yeah, pretty much it. It's the landscape of basketball has changed so much. You now have some players just decided, you know what, they're gonna go overseas and play a year.
Yeah, LaMelo Ball, yeah.
LaMelo, that's a unique case in itself. But LaMelo Ball, R.J. Hampton was another one that he could have gone to college and he went and played over in the Australian Basketball League as Bryce Petty scores and North is up by 10. Another turnover. So they're going to bounce back and go to 16-2, the JV team will. And Coach Conte still going off, or still animated at his team. I think he's on Tyree Rochelle for not doing something that he wanted.
He doesn't need a mic or a bullhorn, that's for sure.
We're going to get Dylan Gross for the foul, his third. Team's 8th. Petty at the line. He scores the free throw.
And really, this is probably going to be Whiteland can foul and try and keep going. But, really at this point, it's kind of hard unless they make a 3 here and they're really feeling it. But that's what they're going to have to do, and they're going to have to shoot quick right now.
There is Higdon. Whiteland has not hit a 3 in the second half, as they cannot get that one to go. DeJuan Daniels with the rebound and the foul.
I do have to say, and I don't know exactly what your opinion is on this, but whenever you're 12 down in a game with 21 seconds left and you foul, that's an interesting tactic always.
I think there's a point where if you're down by a certain number of points, you need to just let the clock run, let it go, because there is no 12-point play in basketball. There's no 10-point whatever.
Reggie Miller couldn't even do it.
Well,
Tracy McGrady couldn't do it probably.
So DeJuan Daniels hits both 61-47 as another impressive win for the Cougar JVs, as they've been perfect every time this year we've been here.
Yeah.
So that's a good sign as Hoffman's going to dribble out the clock. And Whiteland's only going to have scored just 1 free throw 2 points in the fourth quarter.
My goodness. Yeah, that's right. Tied 45-45.
As we look at the highlights here, and it's all Bloomington North in this quarter. Yeah, 16-2 run in the fourth quarter by Bloomington North. You see DeJuan Daniels going up, Bramwell with the finish as he couldn't miss, and it just transition. Rochelle with the finish from Petty.
Rochelle was incredible this
He
half.
had a great second half for sure. Bramwell came on strong in that second half as well. As you see, beautiful pass inside. Bloomington North wins 61-47. For all the hardworking women and men behind the scenes, for my partner Jeremy Nutter, I am Nick Jenkinson. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you for Varsity game in 20 minutes here on Smithville Sports. as we welcome you to the Cougar Den, Tom McKinney Court here at Bloomington High School North. It's a little Saturday afternoon boys basketball between the Whiteland Warriors and the Bloomington North Cougars. Glad you could join us for North Cougar basketball on Smithville Sports alongside Jeremy Nutter. I am Nick Jenkinson, and Jeremy, when it comes to this game, it's a tale of two different teams. Whiteland 4-12, Bloomington North 15-4.
Yeah, literally complete opposites almost. And like we talked about in the JV game a little bit, Bloomington North has been pretty consistent in their winning ways, especially, over most recent history going back 10-ish years. However, Whiteland's on this weird kind of 4 or 5 year downslope with their wins. So we'll see today how they're doing. They seem to be kind of spotty, but yeah, a lot of good opportunity in Bloomington North.
You see Jeremiah Blair on your screen. You just saw Isaac Venzel, also Marco Fitch. He had the game-winning layup against Columbus East last week. Venzel comes in averaging 13.1. Nick Kleiber at 11.5. Aaron Steinfeld 11.2. But not only does Steinfeld do it scoring-wise, Jeremy, he does it on the boards as well.
Yeah, and that's where it's big. You see players, for instance, that you would notice, like in the NBA, Andre Drummond, he's known for the rebounds. Like, once you're able to do that and really own that space, people take notice. I bet everybody's prepared for that today.
Also, Jeremiah Blair at 10.4. One guy the Cougars don't have today is Tim Brewster, averaging 6.8 in 16 games. Not going to speculate what's going on there. He's just not here. He's not he would scratch out the scorebook. He's not in the gym, so don't want to speculate anything that's going on with Tim Brewster, but he is not available today. Today is also basketball day in Indiana. We talked about that a little bit today. It is a celebration in partner with Fox Sports Indiana, the ISSAA, and the Indiana Pacers. It's a big celebration of all things Indiana basketball, college, pro, the NBA. They've got 4 games going on today at Kokomo's Memorial Gym. Kokomo beat Tipton earlier, 66-61. Peru and Northwestern playing now. Crispus Attucks out of Indianapolis is playing Fort Wayne Blackhawk Christian at 2:30 with Caleb First, one of the top players in the junior class, and Westfield and Fishers will play at 4:30. They'll also have a sectional girls championship game at 5:30 that's online at ISATV.org between McCutcheon and the number 1 team in 4A, undefeated Northwestern. IU and Purdue are playing today at Assembly Hall in about a half hour. And then the New Orleans Pelicans with Zion Williamson, Alonzo Ball take on the Indiana Pacers as Victor Oladipo is grabbed back, as we are going to honor America here with the playing of the national anthem. The national anthem has been played, and now it's time to take a look at these starting lineups. First, for the Whiteland Warriors, they will go with number 10. Actually, we'll start with Austin Willoughby at guard, 6'2" freshman. Logan Willoughby, older brother, 6'1" junior. Reed Wilburn, number 24, 6'1" senior. Then at forwards, they're going to go with Max Sullivan, 6'3", 6'5" sophomore. He scored 17 against Indian Creek. And then Kyson Jones, 6'2" sophomore, wearing 23. Nate Cagney is the coach. He is 4-12 in the first year at Whiteland, replaces Matt Wadsworth, who went to Edgewood this year. Cagney is 32-57 in 4 years overall, 16-31 2 years at Waldron, and then 12-14 in 1 year at Hauser. And now we get the lights off the Bloomington North Cougars, and here is Nick Kleiber, 6'1" sophomore, number 11, and then it's the freshman J.Q. Roberts, 6'5" freshman wearing number 13. Isaac Vinsel leading scorer on this team, 6'2", junior. Jeremiah Blair is the 6'3", senior, 23, and then it's Mr. Double-Double, Aaron Steinfeld, 6'5", junior, wearing number 44 for Jason Spear, who is 34-29, 3 years here at Bloomington North. He coached the girls for 2 years, didn't have a great record there with the girls, and then won in 7 years at Columbus North from 2008 to 2015, won 15-48. He won the sectional in 2013. He had 6 winning seasons there. So Whiteland in the blue, Bloomington North in the white. Glad you could join us a little Saturday afternoon boys basketball here on Smithville Sports. One of the few times in the season that these teams play afternoon games because the girls sectional basketball championships are being held this evening. So all the boys teams today that are playing get to play this afternoon. So we are underway as Bloomington North controls it, and it's Nick Kleiber with it, and they're going to work it around to Steinfeld.
You can already tell that the defense is really much quicker than it was in that JV game at the beginning. The JV game definitely there was a time of waking up, a time of just shooting threes and making them and stuff like that, but everybody's awake. You know, it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon almost. Everybody's humming pretty good.
Everybody's got the cobwebs off. They're ready to go. Whiteland shot no good for Max Sullivan as Bloomington North with the rebound. Cougars average 63.9. Whiteland averages 51.8. Blair outside three is no good. And
everybody's feeling it today about the three-pointers in the JV game as well as the varsity.
There is Sullivan. He fires the three, no good from the corner, and Kleiber with it.
I just want to say big ups to the student section that's here. Apparently it's pajama day today, and well fits it. Some of them have been here since pretty early in the morning.
As Isaac Vinsel cuts it inside and scores his first 2, and the Cougars on the board. Not a lot of students, though, in that section. Usually they're up off their feet, but they're all kind of still
they're sleeping.
I think waking up.
They probably bought pillows, too, you know.
As inside goes for Austin Willoughby. And it is North wanting to push tempo. Sullivan with the rebound. Kleiber shot way off. One-on-one Sullivan against Blair. Too strong, and it's Kleiber with it. Up ahead, Vinsel. A lot of contact as that was Austin Willoughby. And it's out of bounds. And it will be Cougars ball.
If I'm not mistaken, I heard him yelling, "Get that out of here." And there you go. You know, whenever something like that happens, you like to get a little amped up, a little excited.
Nice pass inside. Steinfeld can't finish, gets the rebound and gets fouled and will go to the line.
And those are the opportunities you make. Totally beat them on the backside and just cannot make it. Cannot make the shot.
So Aaron Steinfeld at the line. He gets that one to go. Coming into tonight, 203 points in 18 games, has started 13 of them, 11.2 points a game, but he's 55% from the foul line, and he gets both of those. North as a team, 71%.
That's pretty good whenever you think about free throws in general, you know.
There is a errant pass out of bounds. It will be Bloomington North ball.
Because ultimately those free throws are free points, you know, and you really want them. You really want to be able your team to utilize them. So, yeah, it's nice to know whenever you can really rely on your team.
Kleiber misses the outside shot. Vincel the rebound and the putback. He's got 4. Vincel averaging 13.1 a game.
And this time right now will be whenever Whiteland will either continue and go 4-13, or maybe they'll still stay in this game. But sometime here in this first quarter, it's going to be, they're going to be down maybe by 14, or they'll stay within 6 points, and that'll keep them in the game. But it's important for them to really convert on these possessions early on.
Teams have played every year since 2009. Bloomington North leads the series 6-5 as there is a travel on Logan Willoughby. Bloomington North won the last game at Whiteland last year, 56-53. 2 years ago we had this game, and Whiteland came down here and won 65-50, and that was a game where Bloomington North just didn't show up to play.
And it looks like Bloomington North has shown up today, which is nice.
There's a nice pass from Roberts into Blair. Can't get it to go. Steinfeld the rebound into the hands of Blair. Steinfeld the tip. Can't get it. A foul as Reed Wilburn comes down with the rebound. Or they're going to say out of bounds on Whiteland.
Whenever he came down with that ball, that back foot was on that out of bounds line.
Nate Cagney was not happy with that call. Wants an explanation from the officials. Bloomington North ball. Vincel. Nice play inside, but can't finish. Sullivan with the rebound. Stop and pop. Sullivan over Steinfeld, and he gets the roll.
And I've seen a lot of pump fakes so far down low from Whiteland, and I think that's a good formula because, height-wise, they don't look like they're going to match up too well to wherever they're going to be able to get over top of the big guys on Bloomington North. So pump fakes will be really well utilized.
Good ball movement. There's Roberts' baseline, and he stepped out of bounds, and it's Whiteland ball.
That out of bounds line seems to have a lot of action so far this game.
We are going to see Marco Fitch check in for the first time. He's going to replace Roberts. Fitch had the game-winning layup, an acrobatic layup against Columbus East on February the 1st to beat the Olympians 59-57. Steinfeld with a block.
And what's interesting there is that you see the help that Steinfeld brought, and ultimately he was able to get that block. But he was also covered, by Kleiber, and so both were able to really stay on him. And that defense has been very well done. As I say that, they get scored on, of course, but they've been playing really, really good defense.
Logan Willoughby with the bucket, 6-6. Steinfeld throws the pass to Vincel, and it's a foul on the baseline on Whiteland. It's going to be on Kyson Jones, his first, team's second.
What I noticed too is that no one got. By the end of the game there was 1-1, but there wasn't too many fouls in the at the JV game. So we'll see how that translates to the varsity game.
They're going to call Kyson Jones for a second foul. That's his second. He's going to come out. Chase Ferguson, 6'3" senior, will check in for the Warriors, replacing Jones. So already Nate Cagney having to go into the bench with Kyson Jones picking up 2 fouls here in this first quarter. Steinfeld. Sullivan blocks him, and Whiteland recovers it.
And look, Whiteland are staying tied. That's all they have to do in these times. Defense is really going to convert into points in this game.
That one falls short. Blair with the rebound. Fitch working it to Steinfeld. Going one-on-one with Sullivan. There's Blair down the lane. No good. Steinfeld to clean it up, but can't finish. Will go to the line.
And that's the things that are going to have to be converted, is those easy layups. That was an easy layup for him, and he missed it. And Bloomington North have missed a lot of easy layups so far this half. It's 6-6 for goodness sakes, in 5 minutes from both teams. And so that shows defense, but also they're just not converting shots. They're just not converting shots when they should be.
Aaron Steinfeld this season, 11 double-figure games, 4 double-doubles. Best game, 23 points, 13 rebounds against Evansville North a couple weeks ago, as Cade Loftman's going to check in, number 24, replacing Steinfeld. Steinfeld comes off 11 points, 10 rebounds against Edgewood. Last game we had here, he had 16 points, 10 rebounds against Terre Haute, or 17 points and 17 rebounds against Terre Haute South. He's actually had 5 games in 5 double-doubles this season.
Sounds like Russell Westbrook.
But a lot taller than Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
As Max Sullivan drains the 3, Whiteland's first 3, and the Warriors lead by 1. Double dribble by Cade Loftman. He'd be more like Giannis, I think. Giannis gets a lot of double-doubles, doesn't he?
That's true, yeah.
So, yeah.
There's that stretch that Russ had a lot. I mean, Russ goes for the triple-doubles, I guess. That is true.
That's a good play inside Logan Willoughby. He was the leader scorer against Indian Creek the other night, where he had 22. Whiteland has struggled, though, 1-11 against Class 4A schools, as Bloomington North this season 11-3 against teams in Class 4A. Both of these schools 4A teams.
But Whiteland definitely has come out, and I don't think necessarily from what I've seen, it's not much is Whiteland's defense is that Bloomington North inability to score. They just have not converted those layups like we keep seeing. They keep going down the lane, they keep trying to make stuff, and they just can't. And it's easy stuff that you need to convert. Bloomington North could probably be up by 9 now if they would have converted, but they're not. And they really need to get on that and really need to go down there and convert those shots, because that's what's going to be it. Not Whiteland's defense, Bloomington North's inability to make those shots.
There is a basket for Logan Willoughby. He's got 6. Lead us 3. Quentin Gillespie, number 4, into the game for the Warriors. And now a turnover as it goes out of bounds. It will be Whiteland ball. We're going to see J.Q. Roberts check in and Isaac Venzel go out.
And where Bloomington North defense is doing pretty good right now, Whiteland's able to make their opportunities, but Whiteland's defense is not that great. But Bloomington North just can't make the shots. So it's kind of weird where, both teams are having strengths on the different parts of the court.
They sailed that one out of bounds. Willoughby can't find Ferguson underneath, and it's Cougar ball. Approaching a minute to go here. Leave Roberts all wide open in the corner, no good. He's hit 10 threes on the year, can't get that one to go.
Another missed shot.
Cougars have trailed 7 times at the end of the first quarter this season. About to make it 8 if they can't get it together, as Loftman's going to commit the foul, and that's going to send Ferguson to the line.
But, just like Bloomington North and JV game did, what's going to happen in the second half? What's going to happen when this game progresses? Are they going to improve? Are they going to stay the same? That'll be interesting to see, because, this first quarter, they came out hot, they came out good, but they just couldn't make anything. They couldn't hit the side of the barn door, that old saying, based on how they're shooting so far. So, you just got to shake it off, get that mindset in, make a few easy layups, and then go out from there.
Chase Ferguson hits both. Jacob Griffith, number 12, into the game for the Warriors. Cougars trail by 5.
It's the broadside of a barn.
Hit the broadside of a barn.
That's the saying. I knew I said it wrong. I wanted to come back and say it right.
Still early, though. It's, mid-afternoon.
Yeah, that's true. Saturday early for these guys is probably about 11. So this is like waking up still.
As Ferguson drives to the basket, no, they're going to call the foul on Bloomington North. Sullivan's going to come back in. That's going to be on Nick Kleiber, his first, team's second.
And that was a silly foul because Ferguson was never going to do anything with that. Never going to do anything. He was just running down the sideline as a big man. What's he going to do from there? Nothing. And so fouling there, giving them an opportunity to get points, easy points off of this is just not smart to do because they didn't need to do it. It was a missed reach call, it looked like there.
So working the ball around. That's an off-balance shot, and now they're going to hold it. Now we'll do it for the first quarter with Whiteland on top of Bloomington North, 15-10 on Smithville Sports.
Smithville Media has produced stunning and engaging features and documentaries for over a decade. Local interest stories, interviews, commercials and event coverage are all part of what we do. Let us showcase your business or create a commercial for your promotions. We can even play your pieces during our live sports broadcasts. For details, speak with a Smithville representative or email media@smithville.com.
As we welcome you back to Bloomington North, Whiteland leads Bloomington North 15-10 as we begin the second quarter play. Glad you could join us for North Cougar basketball on Smithville Sports alongside Jeremy Nutter. I am Nick Jenkinson, and Jeremy, while Bloomington North is 6 of 6 from the line, Whiteland's the one that's getting the baskets inside and hit that big three from Max Sullivan to lead by 5.
And it comes down to Whiteland's hitting their shots. That's pretty much all that's happening. Nothing crazy. If Coach Spear can get that in his player's head and just be like, just hit your shots and we'll be okay. That's pretty much all Bloomington North needs to do. Hit their shots, they'll be just fine, and they'll crush Bloomington or Whiteland because they have more shot opportunities. They're just not converting.
8th time the Cougars have trailed after the first quarter this season. Max Sullivan with the basket, and the foul will go to the line.
And I would say not give stupid fouls because Bloomington North has done a few of those late in the first quarter and now just now where, go up and contest, but, what's a push going to do? An obvious push in front of the ref. Is that the smartest thing to do?
Sullivan gets the free throw, and it's an 8-point lead. The foul was on Steinfeld, his first. J.Q. Roberts called with the travel, and it's Whiteland ball.
Just stupid mistakes. That's what's going to kill them this half or this quarter if they keep doing that, and that's not a good way to start. You just got to wipe it away. Otherwise, like we talked about, how Coach Conte maybe had his JV players be able to hear his message. Coach Spear will do the same thing at halftime for his group.
Bloomington North, as you see Logan Willoughby score, he's got 8, and Jason Spear wants a timeout. 30-second timeout for the Cougars. Thursday night against Edgewood, Bloomington North was down 11-10 at the end of the first quarter and went on a 19-1 run in the second quarter to turn this around to lead at halftime 29-12 and then go on to beat the Mustangs 68-41. So again, this is kind of one of those situations they schedule was made a long time ago, and these teams have been used to playing each other on a Saturday afternoon for the last 2 seasons. So this is no surprise to either team, but it just seems like right now Bloomington North is just not in the game.
No. Yeah. It's coming down now. I'm going to add one thing to poor fouls and poor decisions. Silly things. There's silly things that Bloomington North doesn't normally do. But that whenever you're playing in a different environment in the afternoon, it feels weird. Normally, it's either after a bunch of girls' games have happened earlier that day or after school. But whenever you're playing midday, it's different. It feels weird. It's hard to get going, hard to play your game because it's not in that routine. But then you look at Whiteland, they're just hitting their shots. They're winning every possession that they have, and that's what's winning it right now. It's not anything special. It's more just conversion. That's it.
Jeremiah Blair is in for Cade Loftman. Marco Fitch at the line coming into today, 5 for 8, 62%, just 16 points on the season. Misses the first, or hits the first, misses the second. Offensive rebound, and then Jeremiah Blair scores and will go to the line.
I do have to say one area that Bloomington North is crushing at those from the free throw line so far today. They've been doing all right. That's one place where they've been doing pretty good. And whenever they've gotten foul shots, they have been pretty successful.
Chase Ferguson is back in. Jacob Griffith out for Whiteland. Jeremiah Blair at the line, 69% on the year. He can't convert. He now has 200 points on the season, 198 coming into today. Nick Kleiber buries his 17th three of the year.
There you go. You got to be able to bury those threes whenever you wear those no-show socks with the basketball shoes. Not a normal sight you'll see on the basketball floor. But
that's not a look that you like either. You were telling me that before the game.
It's just it's just I just look at it and I just think it hurts because I just think he just has a lot of ankle problems with as a foul called. But a lot of rubbing on your ankles by the back of that shoe, and it just looks like it's painful. But I guess it works for him with whatever kind of no-show socks he has on.
Looks like Drew Higdon into the game for Whiteland. We saw him a little bit in the JV contest. Jeremiah Blair hits the free throw. Lead is now 1 for Whiteland, approaching 6 minutes to go here before halftime.
All I gotta say is if he doesn't have any blisters, then good for him, because I don't know how he doesn't have any. But good defense by Bloomington North. Again, though, it's just Whiteland's just trying to win the possession. They're not trying to be crazy, not trying to do anything, looking for the open shot and converting. Converting, that's the only thing, converting.
And they don't like to push the tempo because Bloomington North wants to run and gun.
Mm-hmm. And that's what they're doing, too, that's really good, is getting in that tempo.
They're going to get the travel call, and it's Bloomington North ball. 3 is Jacob Prellis. And he's going to replace Quentin Gillespie.
But see, even though there was that travel call, you were able to see, and you said it too, which is a good thing, to set the tempo, which is important in these type of games because they do play differently. Whiteland running and gunning is not going to work. But setting up, playing their game is how Whiteland's going to be able to win.
Kleiber can't finish. Higdon misses.
And this is Bloomington North in their element.
Kleiber got it from the wing. And Nate Cagney not happy with his team and wants a timeout.
And now, since Bloomington North is able to hit their shots, Whiteland's in an issue with their defensive structure because their defense really hasn't been playing well. And it was just simply North being able to turn it on and start converting, and now they are. And here you go.
Yeah, 5-0, just a little over 5 minutes before halftime. Stay tuned. We'll have a great halftime feature for you. Our next game is next Saturday evening, February 15th. It's Orleans against Edgewood. Orleans 7-10 coming off a loss Thursday at Lagodi, 56-44. They will host Mitchell on Tuesday, and then at Paoli Valentine's Day. Edgewood 9-10. They are off till next Saturday. Trevor Taylor returns for the Mustangs. First time we will see him. He has done well since coming back from his suspension. 159 points in 9 games. Scored his 1,000th career point January 31st at North Putnam. Averages 17.6 a game.
That's a cool milestone to hit, 1,000. It's a good number.
Max Sullivan drains his second three of the day, and it is 23-22.
And that's going to be it. Whiteland will convert.
Kleiber to Fitch. Steinfeld working for the screen. Steinfeld throws a bad pass. Here comes the Warriors. Sullivan one-on-one with Blair, too strong. Ferguson can't finish, and it's a foul on the Cougars.
And as opposed to the JV game, a lot of fouls in the varsity here. A lot of fouls. And I do think my theory is correct in that they're calling more fouls in the varsity game. But yeah, it seems like that I don't know where Bloomington North's defense is. They're playing better than Whiteland's defense is, but it's still Whiteland they're picking their shots, and it's just very cool to see how it's done. Of course, if they're not able to convert on these chances and do stuff like that, then that's gonna really hurt their game.
Yeah, they're very methodical in how they're going after, setting up shots, getting rebounds, doing the little things that they're doing that's got them a 1-point lead right now as Bloomington North has the ball. 4 minutes to go here before half. Stay tuned. Great halftime feature. Kleiber is heating up his third three, and North back in the lead.
And these next 3.5 minutes are really important for both teams because it's going to set how they feel in that second half, set how the halftime talk's going to be. And, which could be bad or good, depending on how it ends.
Kleiber already in double figures with 11. 14 time he's had double figures. They're going to call Blair for the offensive foul.
I think those are the most fun fouls you can have in a basketball game is an offensive charge. I think it really gets it jacked up. An and one's pretty cool, but an offensive charge is a little more unique.
Cade Loffman's going to check back in, replacing Aaron Steinfeld. As we mentioned already, Whiteland in the 1-1, or Bloomington North in the 1-1.
Whiteland's almost there.
As Sullivan can't hit Venzel with the rebound.
And they are just all over
being
Bloomington
guarded
North.
by Jacob Prellis, and he commits the foul. Team's ninth. They're going to get Reed Wilburn back in the game for Whiteland replacing Prellis.
And Coach Kanganoo was not happy with that call on the foul. He thought he was just playing some good, solid defense, which, just depends on how the game's called. But it definitely was a little iffy there on that call.
Venzel misses a free throw on the year. He's 68%. 3 minutes to go. North up 2. Inside, it's going to be a foul on Loffman. And he always gives that who me look like.
Yeah, players do that. Well, because, they see the pros do it. They see the professional people doing stuff like that, and then they're going to replicate. I know whenever I did sports, people who were in my position in different stuff, whether it was soccer or anything like that, you do the mannerisms they do.
Yeah, as Venzel's going to miss, J.Q. Roberts gets hammered to the ground and scores. And you see that athleticism from Roberts.
And again, now Bloomington North took control of the tempo, and it's just not going Whiteland's way.
Loffman almost lost the handle. Now he does. Numbers for Whiteland, 3-on-1. Nice behind the back dribble and finish for Logan Willoughby. He's in double figures with 10. Venzel left open. Sullivan, good job on that closeout. Venzel drives, spin moves. Loffman gets hammered to the ground. They're going to call a jump ball instead of a foul.
Yeah, I've noticed too a few times whenever they call jump balls, it's quick. They do it quick now. It's you have two hands on the ball at the same time. for like maybe half a second jump ball. I'm guessing it's because people used to really get into it and elbows were thrown. Elbows are sharper whenever they come in quick.
And the game is definitely a lot more physical than ever before. 1:53 to go here. Cougars up 2. Roberts, 3 from the wing. No. Loftman, rebound, can't put it back. Gets another chance. And this time he converts.
I'm convinced he just padded his stats there. What was that, 2 rebounds there in the span of a few seconds? And a block.
They're going to call the foul for Bloomington North. The crowd that's here does not agree with that. They're going to call Loftman for his 3rd.
I do have to say the student section actually stood up on their feet for that one. So they're the few that are here are awake in their pajamas.
There's also a big music competition that's going on here today at Bloomington North as Griffiths missed the free throw. There's also swimming sectionals, wrestling regionals, so a lot of sports.
A day in Indiana, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's your typical day in Indiana of everything going on at once.
It isn't just corn and soybeans. There are a lot of basketball and band happening as well.
Not to mention the other sports as well. IU Purdue playing here at 2 o'clock. Over at Assembly Hall, rumor is Bob Knight is going to show up for the first time.
Really?
Since
is that it?
He was let go by the university in 2000.
I've had some friends that have seen him at a few restaurants around town because I know he's been back in town for a bit, but I didn't know he was actually going back.
Well, that had been the rumor for a while that he was going to show up. He's battling dementia and everything else, and he's moved back because he used to come back all the time because of health to see the doctors and all that stuff, and now they bought a house back on the southeast side of Bloomington, and he was going to come back for the Ohio State game. That didn't happen, and Gene Cady, the former Purdue coach who had legendary battles with Bob Knight, is to show up too today. So
wow, what a game! And Mark Cuban as well is in town, I think, for the game. So a lot of notable people.
It's Ty Johnson scores. Roberts has to chase it down. We're under a minute to go here, and a foul on the Warriors.
So if you don't have anything to do, go ahead and head over to Assembly Hall.
They're going to call Ty Johnson with the foul. J.Q. Roberts, freshman, started all 19 games as a freshman.
That's not too bad of a way to start your high school career.
We talked about it in several broadcasts. Freshmen, a lot of times there's that one special freshman who, makes the impact. And now you see it more now than you did before, but you see a lot of freshmen now coming into the roles, getting to high school, and immediately contributing. Roberts,
like knowing 8th grade, they're coming in and starting.
5.6 a game for Roberts coming into today.
And that's really good because, you're able to contribute, and then you're going to have them for 4 years, so you can start grooming them in a way they can lead the team as they grow up and are able to be, even as a sophomore, they could lead the team, or as a junior, they could already be like a big force. So seniority does has a lot less impact.
There's a 3, and it's good at the buzzer for Logan Willoughby, as the Cougars are going to go down by 1, or up by 1. As we look at the highlights, you see Isaac Venzel inside scoring. Aaron Steinfeld with a huge block. Max Sullivan going to hit one of his 2 threes from the outside. Good ball movement inside. Logan Willoughby in double figures so far for Whiteland. Marco Fitch hits a free throw. They go out of bounds. Aaron Steinfeld makes the hustle play. Nick Kleiber starting to feel it. He's had 3 threes so far. Isaac Venzel misses. J.Q. Roberts' athleticism puts North up by 2, 33-31 here at halftime on Smithville Sports.
I'm Jeff Van Horn, the owner-operator here at Van Horn Tents and Accessories. We've been doing window tinting now for 35 plus years, but over the last 12, 15 years, we've been getting into vehicle wraps. My main job here is just to oversee everyday production, do a lot of the design work here. Occasionally I still get in and do some installation and things like that. You know, I really enjoy that part of it, and that's part of it that I miss a little bit. We started at home and grew from a little 2-car garage to a 3-car garage, and now here we are at a 6,000 square foot facility. Ellettsville has always felt like home. The people are friendly here. It's not, Bloomington's not a big city, but it's still Ellettsville has that hometown vibe to it, and we just really enjoy the people. We like the countryside. We like the quaint environment. People are just friendly and welcome to open arms. Window tinting is, like I said, something we've done for 35 plus years now. The thing we do with window tinting is we offer a lifetime warranty, and that lifetime warranty is through Scorpion, our manufacturer. They are a home-based business as well. They're right here in Indiana, up and around the Cloverdale, Greencastle area. We offer a transferable warranty where some places don't do that. If a new owner takes over the vehicle, the warranty's on the vehicle, not the owner, so we'll allow you to transfer. And it's for the lifetime of that vehicle, whether it's a warranty on the defect from the manufacturer or our workmanship. We will take care of it and make sure the customer's happy. We also offer vehicle wraps, which we've been doing for 12, 15 years now. Whether you want to change the color of your vehicle, we could completely change the color for you. And then a lot of things we do more than that is doing a lot of branding for commercial businesses. Fleets, etc., whether it be a record business, heating and cooling, police cars, fire trucks. We do a lot of that. That's a main forte of our business, is doing a lot of branding and getting these fleets up and running very fast. When they spend hundreds of thousands of dollars sometimes on vehicles, you got to get them on the road fast and get them making money and getting some return on their investment. We do a lot of just simple graphics, whether it's a window sticker, in memory of sticker, school spirit stickers. No job's too small. We're happy to have those little small stickers, whether it be 400 stickers or 20. We do that for businesses as well. We do a lot of signs, banners for businesses or individuals as well. We also offer paint protection. It's basically a clear rubber membrane that we put on the fronts of cars and in door jambs and stuff to keep them from getting scuffed and scratched and rock chips, sand in the winter. And then we also sell a whole line of professional car detailing products. And probably last but not least, we do a lot of race cars. Motorcycle graphics is a new one we've gotten into with a thicker, heavier material. So we can pretty much do full service on any vehicle, motorcycle, racing vehicle, whatever you're looking for. Smithville's been an intricate part of us getting into the vehicle wrap market. Smithville came to us that 12 to 15 year mark, I don't remember how long it's been, and talked to us about they were going to wrap some vehicles. And we were talking to them, saying, hey, we're interested in buying a big wide format printer. They were just beginning to get affordable at the time. And they came to a show. We wrapped one of my own vehicles. They came to a show and looked at it and liked what they seen. They've been an intricate part about us getting into the wrap game, and very helpful. Been a great business. We've rebranded your whole fleet, I think 2 to 3 times over now, and it's been a great business venture for the last 12, 15 years with you guys. The benefits of having a vehicle wrap, one, versus paint is price. The other thing about the vehicle wraps, and one of our main things we do, is the fleets. The advertising that you can do to a vehicle versus painting that would cost a fortune to airbrush or hand paint. And once again, that's permanent. We can take, whether it's a color change wrap or whether it's your advertising, you can put it on a vehicle and we can remove it. And 2 years, 5 years, 10 years down the road, and that paint's brand new and protected underneath. It should look like the day we put it on. We can put a photo, of a person or any product or an animal or anything you want on the side of that vehicle. You bring us a digital picture, we can print it, blow it up, and it'll look exactly like the photo. And we can put it down the side of your vehicle. for advertisement or personal use, whatever. So there's a lot of advantages to a wrap versus paint that you just can't do. In a new facility here, we do have 2 Muto wide format printers. They print 54 inches wide. And after we're done printing each print, we actually laminate it too. That protects the ink and also gives it another 3 years worth of UV protection. So at a minimum, you get 5 to 6 years worth of wear and tear from sun and the harsh environments, the elements, by doing this. We use about every brand as you can imagine when it comes to collar change wraps. It's mainly just what your preference is as far as a collar. We have all kinds of swatches for people to look at, just like paint samples. People come pick out their favorite collar, we can order that film and use it. My staff, we have 4 employees here, including myself. Beth, my sister, Beth Nixon, she runs the office. She's our office manager. She does all the scheduling, invoicing, takes care of the guys' payroll. She also gets all the vinyl ready for whether it's weeding, cutting prints down, whether it's wrapping canvases, whatever. She's a great help. And then we have 2 brothers that are installers here. We have Travis Brown and Zach Savage. They've been installers here for a little over 3 years. And then we've had an addition. He's worked for me off and on part-time for quite a few years. We're very good friends, is Kedrick Carden. But with a new facility, we were able to bring in more people and just take a lot of load off. The new facility came about as a dream really for a long, long time to doing this full time. Once we finally got in a financial position, worked hard and got a lot of stuff paid for, we were able to dream up this new 6,000 square foot facility where we could actually have a big semi bay where we could back a 53-foot semi trailer in and drop it and wrap it, or put decals on it, or pull in a dump truck out of the weather and tent it or letter it. We can put 4 enclosed trailers in there if we need to. Not to mention the window tent install bay is we can put 4 to 6 vehicles in there at a time. We have a great showroom, waiting room area, and we were able to add a kitchenette for people with coffee or whatever they might need to make their wait a little more pleasant. I think our customer service is good, if hopefully not great. We offer a good warranty, we stand behind our work, and we want to make sure somebody's happy. We try to give people a very fair price, and we have a good friendly staff, whether it be dealing with Beth or Zach or Travis or Kedrick, whoever it might be. We try to do whatever it takes to make the customer happy in the long run, and like I said, we offer the lifetime warranty on the window tint, and we try to stand behind the vehicle wraps and everything else as long as we possibly can. To get in contact with us, you can stop by our new shop here at 4501 Outback. We are located in Ellettsville, right behind the McDonald's. You can look us up on the website, www.vanhorn1.com. Of course, we have all the social media pages, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can always look at our work or contact us on there, look at our ratings. And then, of course, you can just pick up the phone and call us at 812-876-2230. Beth will be glad to schedule you in or answer any questions or put you in touch with me or one of the guys.
As we welcome you back to Bloomington High School North, Tom McKinney Court, the Cougar 10 here, Bloomington, Indiana. Bloomington North on top, 33-31 against Whiteland here on Smithville Sports. Glad you could join us alongside Jeremy Nutter. I am Nick Jenkinson. Jeremy, when the Cougars lead at halftime, they are 14-0, hoping to make it 15-0 today, but Whiteland hanging in there right now.
Yeah.
Down 2.
And it's going to come down to, like what's been all game, they're going to have to make their shots, Whiteland is, because their defense isn't helping them out. Their defense isn't as good as Bloomington North's offense. They're just going to have to make their shots and do what they've been doing on offense, and just choose and be methodical like we were talking about, and set the tempo, not let Bloomington North set the tempo. And it should stay close. Bloomington North could still edge them out, but it'll stay close in that situation. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how everybody kind of reacts and what the halftime speeches did from the coaches.
Whiteland will have the ball to start the second quarter of play. Warriors just 4 wins on the season. Kyson Jones, 3 in and out. Rebound for Austin Willoughby. Can't get it to go, and he gets fouled. We're going to get Isaac Venzel for his first. It's going to send Austin Willoughby to the line. Just 2 points so far.
And this is still an okay possession for them because they're able to convert points and get those baskets, which are important, even though maybe one. As I jinxed a shot.
Whiteland was 4 of 5 from the line in the first half. North was 12 of 15. Cougars living at the line. We'll see if they can keep that up here in the second half. Nice bounce pass from Kleiber inside to Blair.
And ultimately, I mean, if you look at the record-wise, you have to realize Whiteland's in a position where they're 4-12. Bloomington North has a winning season as an interesting shot there.
Yeah, kind of a mid. I don't know if he was trying to decide.
He was like trying to pass it, and then he's like, "Well, I can't." That was weird. But I would just say that record-wise, they should blow them out. If you're just, somebody looking and just seeing, this team literally has the flip-flop of the other team. They should blow them out, but Whiteland's staying in there.
I don't want to overlook the opponent, and that was kind of, I think, what happened 2 years ago when Whiteland came in here. North overlooked them, and Whiteland came in here and won by 15. 3 for Willoughby, no good. Kyson Jones did touch it last, and it is Bloomington North ball.
And if you think about it, too, there's a lot of situations wherever there's something hard about playing to not a lower opponent, but, obviously Whiteland aren't doing as well, or you play to a lower standard, or play to the standard of your opponent, which could mean better for Bloomington South. They were playing lights out very well, North was against South. Whiteland's playing pretty good, but it's a different style of play. And so Bloomington North just have to play their basketball. Don't be allowed to have Whiteland use all of the stuff they're doing to manipulate how the game's being played.
Logan Willoughby gets the bucket. Kleiber comes back, and he hits his 4-3. The last one, he was on the line. So Kleiber had 13 at halftime, and now he has 18. His high this season, 20 against Scottsburg. That was in the Bedford North Lawrence tournament in December. He's just a sophomore. We talked about J.Q. Roberts and the impact he's had as a freshman. Kleiber did the same thing last year, and Isaac Venzel did it the year before.
Another excellent move, but unable to finish.
Steinfeld with the rebound. Here comes Kleiber, lays it up and in.
Got that friendly home field bounce right there.
Nate Cagney wants a timeout. Nate Kleiber 7 points in this third quarter.
And that's completely opposite to, if we remember from the first quarter, it was almost 20 points to total scored. And so you see already 7 points scored in the first 3 minutes is interesting because you're able to see the progression just like last game, that Bloomington North is going to wake up and be able to convert these points.
Kleiber's season high was 20, as we mentioned, against Scottsburg in December. So he's tied his season high for Bloomington North. Upcoming February 14th at Terre Haute North, February 21st, Columbus North. They will honor the 2000 state finals team. That night it's the 20th anniversary of that team going to the state final. You tell me. I'm the one that remembers those days very well. February 22nd at Floyd Central, and then February 28th, New Albany to close out the regular season. And then it's sectional time with Bloomington North, Bloomington South, Columbus East, Columbus North, Martinsville, and East Central. Bloomington South, the #1 team in the state, 19-0 on the year. And Anthony Leal, Thursday night, passed Chris Lawson for third on the all-time scoring list at Bloomington South. Chris Lawson, former IU and Vanderbilt player, graduated in 1989. Wenzel scores for Bloomington North. Of course, some great players have come through both Bloomington schools.
They were talking about him in the JV game.
Talk about Jabril Conte, Quet Dewaney. Blair, Nate Cagney wants to travel on Blair. That did not happen.
And he is not happy about that carry that Blair had.
Host of Indiana All-Stars for Bloomington North. Terry Stotts in 1976, head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers. Dewaney in 1995, who played on the Final Four team at Wisconsin. Of course, mentioned Jabril Conte. Quet Dewaney won the national title in 2003 with Carmelo Anthony at Syracuse. Jared Jeffries, 2000 Mr. Basketball, played at IU. Sean May, 2002 Mr. Basketball, won a national title at North Carolina. Eric Sewer, who is now the color guy to Don Fisher for the IU radio network, started his career as a walk-on at IU, then got a scholarship. Bill Dewaney, who played at Eastern Illinois and now is the assistant coach at the University of Nevada with Steve Alford, and Julian Boatner in 2010, who was at William & Mary. So, and then there's other guys that didn't quite make the All-Star team that have also made an impact. Guys like Ray McCallum Jr. went to Detroit Mercy, played here the first couple years as well. So a lot of guys have come through. Yeah, a lot of guys have come through these doors here at Bloomington North.
And that shows the caliber of player that they're capable of producing.
Max Sullivan scores. I mentioned one name I mentioned earlier, Mario Weissang, graduated in 1997, played a long 15-plus year career in his home country of Indonesia, and had a great career overseas.
And I was watching something last night as another three-pointer from Kleiber.
Kleiber's heating up. That is now a season high for Kleiber.
Anyway, I was watching basketball about Chinese basketball, about different countries in their basketball heritage, and it's fun to see. It's a little different, but that true Indiana basketball fever is in the blood of everybody who's playing the game.
Second on Jeremiah Blair. They're going to say team third. Logan Willoughby at the line, had 13 in the first half. He's got 2 since. This was 15. He and Sullivan in double figures for the Warriors. He gets that one to go. Now we're going to see Nate Toohill for the first time, and then J.Q. Roberts comes back, replacing Steinfeld and Wenzel. Willoughby hits both. 47 lead is 9 now.
And now the next few possessions for Bloomington North are important because they need to shut Whiteland down on defense. They need to score those baskets.
Nate Toohill gets in on the act, his 19th three of the year, as Cougars are now up by 12.
And if they shut him down this time and are able to convert and score next possession.
Kleiber takes it away. Fouled by Sullivan, will go to the line.
And Coach Cougars down there, he really wants a timeout, and he's been motioning over to the ref timeout for about 12 seconds before he called it for him.
So a full timeout for Whiteland. 2:34 to go here in the third quarter. Well, while we have a minute, we want to thank our crew, the hardworking women and men behind the scenes. An early one today with the 9 o'clock crew call. Rob Ramsey, our director, technical director, Nate Alarcon replays. Me and you doing commentary, our camera crew, Nora Baraja, Sam Malloy, Catherine Jankowski. Thank you for everything that you do throughout the season, both football and basketball. And our next game next Saturday night, Orleans at Edgewood. Orleans' girls team is in the sectional title game tonight, but they are going up against number 1 ranked Lagodi in Class 1A. So
should be a good game.
It should be a very good game. That's down at North Davies High School, a great place to watch the games. If Orleans would pull that out, then there would, of course, that would be the girls' regionals next week. So it's a scenario where if Orleans would win, then that game could possibly be moved to another night to accommodate girls' regionals. But going up against the number 1 team in the state, that's a tough out. So.
I know I went to the school that used to be the number 1 team in the state for a few years, and it definitely, you have a bit of swagger and a bit of you know what's going to happen during the season pretty much.
But you also have the big target on your back.
You do have a big
well.
target. And whenever you lose, everybody lets you know.
Don't forget, we are on YouTube, youtube.com/Smithville Media. Search Smithville Media. Clyber hits the free throws and subscribe to the Smithville Media channel on YouTube.
I know I'm subscribed.
I am. It's a great thing. Love to go back and watch the games and pick up on, get to go back and watch what you've done. So Marco Fitch in the game.
One travel call there.
For the Cougars. Inside pass. Sullivan kind of a volley. I don't know what, if that was like a volleyball spike to Gillespie, but that was a good kind of one-hand throw. Gillespie going to fire the 3 in and out. Fitch with the rebound.
And he was lucky because he got caught on the help there, and he wasn't able to get back to his man in time. And that was probably not the smartest thing because, did he really need help down low? He was just trying to get it. But, whenever you have awareness like Sullivan does, you're able to dish it out real quick. You don't really want to leave your man for that down low threat.
There is Clyber down the middle, and he scores. He has taken over this quarter for sure. 14 points for Clyber just in this quarter.
That's double what Whiteland had.
Spin move, a lot of contact, no call. Bloomington North comes up with it. Clyber loses it on the floor. Now Two-Hill comes up with it, but they're going to call him for over and back.
There maybe was a kickball in there, a travel, but the over and back was the one that got called in the end. Saw a lot of sliding and kicking.
Jace Ferguson in the game. Kyson Jones out for Whiteland.
It's always fun because, that's honestly what Bloomington North would like, more or less, is to have that dynamic play, that fluid play that's going to be everywhere. I see more and more schools do that. I know at least saw a video or something about a college that doesn't really run set plays, but it's a lot more dynamic and fluid motion. And Bloomington North, obviously they play with plays and different things, but they play more to that strength of just kind of fluidity, like, let's run the floor. But it is interesting, and a lot of hard defensive calls.
You don't see it seems like you don't see as many teams run and gun now. I got to see that a couple weeks ago. Got to see South Decatur, one of the top teams in 2A that averages almost 90 points a game. They scored, the game I saw at Hauser, they scored 61 in the first half. And they scored 91 in the game. And it slowed down in the fourth quarter, but they had 2 guys that scored 30. One had 31, the other guy had 30. But they did a lot of points off turnovers. Hauser had like 32 turnovers that night.
And see, that's what you're going to do. You're either going to get a lot of turnovers or, you're going to have to give up a bunch of points. But either way, it is an interesting tactic. Score more than the other people score or try to play defense. But that's whenever a lot of people who can run a lot farther than me do it, and I watch them. I watch these kids, and I'm like, I'm going to die of hyperventilation. I'm not moving. I'm sitting down, but they're running all over the place.
Yeah, they emphasize conditioning so much more now than ever before. But you also have to be careful because you can't do too much.
Mm-hmm. Otherwise, those leg muscles really start to suffer.
There is Clyber to the bucket. And it's a 16-point lead for Bloomington North as we go to the fourth quarter here on Smithville Sports.
Whether it's countertops, an outdoor kitchen, or a custom shower, Inside Out Kitchen and Bath can make your ideas reality. Based locally in Ellettsville, our staff have over 30 years experience in the business and the dedicated ability to get your job done right. Stop in and see us at 4053 North Centennial Drive in Ellettsville, just opposite Arby's. Visit our website at www.iokb.us or give us a call at 812-803-8005. We'll help you complete your project inside and out.
We welcome you back to Bloomington High School North as the Cougars are up on Whiteland 56-40 as they get ready for the fourth quarter of play. Glad you could join us for North Cougar basketball here on Smithville Sports. Alongside Jeremy Nutter, I am Nick Jenkinson. Jeremy, Nick Kleiber, 16 points in that third quarter, 29 his season high for the game.
Yeah, he controlled the whole half. And that is definitely the story of the third quarter. What's it going to be in the fourth quarter, though? You know, how's that going to be? How important is he going to be in this fourth quarter as he continues to run and as he continues to just control and command the floor, honestly? He has done so much for Bloomington North. Pretty much all he's scored is the reason is how far they're ahead at the last quarter.
Aaron Steinfeld gets the ball, can't finish. Jason Spear wants a foul called, not going to get one as we are underway here in the fourth. Drew Higdon inside, and he scores for
He almost
Whiteland.
looked like a football player down there holding the ball in his left arm.
Nice take to the basket. Higdon played most of the JV game. Played 3 quarters of the JV game, and of course JV and varsity you can play between 5 quarters a night, so he is getting his 2 quarters of varsity.
I think it's interesting if you look at the play that North is running. Obviously not out of the inbound, but whenever they're back on offense, it definitely is an interesting looking offense that they're running.
Aaron Steinfeld with the basket. He's got 6. First point since in the first quarter when he went 4-4 from the foul line. Brandon Gillespie left it short. Blair, long pass to Venzel, 1-on-1 with Ferguson, and Venzel finishes.
And this is whenever North can finally pull away and do their thing. They're hitting their shots. It's all it took. Whiteland's defense was not good, and they were able to show it.
60-42, 18-point lead. Sullivan missed it. Blair the board.
And those shots were going in earlier, and now they're not.
Fensel with it. Inside, blocked by Sullivan.
And they actually wanted to run a play. North did on that, but he didn't really want to follow that play, Vitzel.
As Gillespie misses the 3, rebound to Bloomington North. Marco Fitch back in the game for the Cougars. Venzel is going to get called for the over and back. Austin Willoughby back in for Quentin Gillespie.
And Whiteland looking tired out there. Again, their defense is just not up to par. I know it wasn't the whole game, but Bloomington North is finally able to make those baskets. But Whiteland, conversely, is now not able to convert their baskets.
Ferguson gets fouled underneath by Steinfeld, and he'll go to the line. You know, there are a lot of things that we always mention in games, and we talk about things we like and we don't like. And the one thing that I don't like and that we see all the time, we talked about earlier, these guys always complain to the officials every time there's a foul.
Mm-hmm.
And
they
need to stop doing that and just play the game. I know the NBA, they do it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And they do it in college, and they do it everything. As Ferguson finally, after 2 free throw misses, scores. But just play the game and let the coach be the ones to, argue with the refs and not you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I've been a culprit of that, but then also I've seen that in negative ways where all of a sudden, it's somebody who, maybe a D1 commit or somebody who knows the cool cat around school and stuff, and so they already have that head. Well, they bring it into the game, and it just doesn't mix well because ultimately it's not going to work well for the team, and I totally agree with you. But the person that I'm annoyed with the most who does it is nobody on this court. It is somebody named LeBron James, if you've heard of him. As a Pacers fan, him on the Cavs after a few Eastern Conference Finals while on the Heat. After he drove down and got his 12th shooting foul, it was kind of annoying, and him complaining to the refs. But, that's just me. That's just me in my opinion. Draymond Green will get a technical if he would complain as much, but that's just my thinking.
I agree. You see it so much often, and you said these kids kind of mimic what the Cougars call a full timeout here with 5:36 to go. But you always see this in all sport, all levels where the guys, they complain about the calls. Mm-hmm. They argue with the officials. It's you just go play the game. Let your coach do that. That's what the coach's job is for, is to go fight for you and argue for you and have the case, instead of you going to the ref and whine, because you know what? Refs can tee you up anytime. And if they do, and if you do get on their bad
We've
side,
seen that happen
then
earlier
they
this
can
season.
really start.
Mm-hmm.
Things can really start to trickle down. So
send those little fouls they didn't call before will start getting called and stuff. Yeah, I've definitely been in a situation wherever I have been screaming at a ref before and different things, but it is just that mentality of being able to see these older professional players do that and getting away with it more and more. The older ref, the old school refs and the older players and stuff like that back in the day would have, there was complaining and stuff, but I've just seen from the older refs, the authority they had on the game was like you knew their name because they were in charge of the game. And if you went against them, well, have fun getting teed up.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just one of those things, and there's a lot of things in the game that, I wish they would do, and that is one of them, is players need to quit arguing with officials. As Logan Willoughby scores for Whiteland, lead is 16. Now North having a little bit of trouble inbounding it.
But again, Whiteland's defense.
And there it is, a steal from Kleiber. Willoughby finishes.
And a little bit of breath.
4 quick points. Kleiber trying to answer. He gets fouled and will go to the line.
And Whiteland is not happy with that call. Not happy that they got that call. A little bit of a late call, too, if I would say so.
4 on Max Sullivan. Kleiber at the line. And he hits that one. Now it's going to be Jacob Prellis back in the game for Whiteland, placing Willoughby.
And if North really want to put this to bed, they just got to shut them down 2 times on defense, probably. 2 or 3 times, and then all you got to do is just score the baskets, score your points.
Coach Cagney's going to call a timeout, full timeout for the Warriors. He's got 1 left. Coach Spear has 3 for the Cougars. So we've got sectional girls championship games tonight. All 3 Monroe County teams are done for the year. Bloomington North lost 51-34 again, or 54-31 Tuesday night against Columbus North. Down at Bloomington South, they end the year 8-15. Bentley Grooms with 12. Ainsley Urbanski finishes her career with 1,053 career points. So a great 4-year career for her. And 4 girls that graduate from that team this year: Nadia Trent, Aaron Lillis, Bentley Grooms, and Ainsley Urbanski And then Edgewood lost last night to Brownstown Central 48-28. They end the year 19-7 again, but a great year for Coach Gary Sims coming back after a year off. Whiteland lost to Center Grove last night 50-14 in the Center Grove sectional. So the Lady Warriors end the year 11-14. Regionals are next Saturday, the February 15th. Semi-state is February 22nd. And the state finals are February 29th. The boys sectional draw or state draw is Sunday, February 23rd at 3 p.m. 3 girls teams are undefeated going into the sectionals. Northwestern, we talked about them, 25-0. Crown Point, 25-0 in Class 4A, number 2 ranked. Second straight year they have finished the regular season undefeated. And then Triton Central is 23-0 in 2A. Isaac Venzel scores.
Interesting layup there, backspin on that.
Lead is back to 18. Of course, on the boys' side, Bloomington South, the number 1 team and undefeated in 4A. And then Greenwood Christian, 18-0 and number 1 in 1A, the only 2 unbeatens for the boys. Kleiber just feeling it. He's just taking this game over 30 points. And lead is 20.
Yeah, this half has been his half. He is feeling it. He is on fire. I think he could throw it up from where he's standing right now and probably make it.
3 on the way. No good for Higdon. Ferguson and Roberts battle. And they're going to call Roberts for the foul.
But we'll see. We'll see if Whiteland are able to I don't know, we talked about it a little bit, the whole fouling thing at the end of the game. We'll see, what that looks like for them, if they're going to keep on trying hard or if they're going to go ahead and say, you know what, we're just going to go ahead and not make our loss look any worse than it is. And right now it's looking like they could manage it so it's not too bad, but they just got to convert like that, and they'll be just fine.
Cougars are going to lead this series 7-5 since 2009. They're going to go on a 2-game winning streak against Whiteland.
Beautiful pass.
Blair.
Beautiful pass.
First on Willoughby. 5th team foul. Blair at the line. He gets that one to go. 12 for Jeremiah Blair today. That puts him in double figures for the 12th time this season. His high is 17 against Edgewood and Center Grove.
I think ultimately Coach Spear has had a good formula and matchup because Whitefield don't really have, or Whiteland. I keep saying a lot of different things other than Whiteland, but anyways.
It's right there on their jersey, front of their jersey.
Oh, my eyes aren't that good. But there's not a lot of height in this team, and so I think Coach has done a good job of matching up and being able to put in more athletic and less big people into the game that are going to hopefully continue to benefit them as they continue to do well.
Logan Willoughby not giving up the fight, though, for Whiteland. He keeps scoring. Of course, upcoming for the Warriors, they finish February 14th at Decatur Central, February 21st, Martinsville, February 22nd at New Palestine. Then they close out the regular season February 28th at home against Beech Grove as Venzel scores. Lead is 21. So just a couple weeks left in the regular season as Willoughby just continues to score for Whiteland.
Down by 18 now.
Fitch loses it. Here's Willoughby. 3-on-1. Going to go 1-on-1 with Steinfeld. Can't finish. Steinfeld the rebound. There's going to be a foul.
And the Whiteland faithful not happy with that.
Jacob Prellis with his second foul. teams sixth.
Both teams on the edge of 1-1.
Both at 16 fouls. Bad pass, and it's going to be a foul called on Whiteland.
And now we start to see if Whiteland's going to keep fouling, keep doing their thing, or go ahead and give it. If not, for all those who are watching, get your popcorn and maybe a bit of fouling back and forth if they continue to really press on.
Nick Kleiber at the line.
But he has had a heck of a game, really injecting life into this team in the second half.
35 for Nick Kleiber, 13 in the first half, and he's got 35.
Without them, they're at 40 points, and that is huge.
There is a miss for Max Sullivan. Steinfeld up ahead. Wenzel one-on-one against Willoughby, and Wenzel scores. Wenzel in double figures as well.
And a silly foul by Steinfeld.
For the 14th time this year, his high 24 against Scottsburg. That will do it for Aaron Steinfeld. Nate Toohill will check back in. Steinfeld today just 6 points on the day, went 4-4 from the line. But he does so many other things that are so crucial to Bloomington North's basketball team.
Yeah, he's definitely a presence down low physically. Like whenever you walk in the gym, people, you look, and whenever you see somebody who's built like that and big like that, it's going to scare you. It's going to scare you a little bit, and you're going to go be like, how is he doing? Hey. Coach was happy about that. Coach was not happy about that.
That's going to be on Jacob Prellis, his third. This will send Kleiber back to the line. What a game for Nick Kleiber, just a sophomore. I mean, he has been in this role since day one that he's come in, and he is running his team for sure as the point guard.
Not bad for the young man.
30 as he misses. That's his first miss of the day from the foul line. I didn't jinx him. Yeah, didn't jinx him.
No, I was going to say that you jinxed him whenever you told him it could be a career high, and I thought he may not score anymore.
11-12 at the line for Kleiber. Higdon scores. He's got 6. This lead is 19 as we're down to 1:20 to go. So Bloomington North going to pull it out here. Whiteland's going to go to 4-13. Nate Toohill bombs his second 3 of the day. So we approach 1 minute to go.
I do have to say this has been a great show of character that the coach can look to for Bloomington North moving forward. I think that both teams didn't play well necessarily in the first half. The JV definitely could see a change, but the first quarter, bit of the first part of the second quarter, Varsity wasn't really turned on, but you're able to see kind of playing how to make a team play the way you want to, and that's what Bloomington North ultimately did because they were able to make Whiteland get into this harder dynamic offense and defensive transition that they just weren't adapted for. So I think the coach can really look to this and say, we overcame, we were able to come out of our shell during the game. So
Jacob Prellis hits Bowtie Johnson back into the game.
Speaking of the JV game.
And Tyree Rochelle, number 21, for the first time, going to see some varsity minutes.
And bringing up the ball. Oh, my bad.
He gives it to Marco Fitch.
I think he knows his place on the varsity floor a little more.
So he's going to get the final minute here of the game.
And Whiteland is not giving up.
It's going to be Quentin Gillespie, and we're going to see Zach Rager check in, and Bryce Petty will check in at the next dead ball. Marco Fitch at the line. Also going to see Ryan Bramwell as well. No Tim Brewster today. Xavier Trueblood continues to nurse an injury from football. May not even play the rest of this season. We haven't seen him yet, and he's
had a good football season.
Good football season. Going to walk on to IU next year for Tom Allen.
He's a great coach, by the way. Big fan of his work so far. Getting to a bowl game. We'll win it next year, you know.
As I lost to Tennessee in the Gator Bowl just by slimmest of margins. But it's going to be a big victory for Bloomington North today. Going to go to 16-4 on the year, as they've got about 5 more games to close out the regular season, and it is sectional time.
You know, Nick, you were talking about things you don't like earlier. Well, you know, not a pet peeve or anything, but it just is. It's interesting whenever a team is up by almost 20 points, you know, and it's still intense and fouling and stuff. You know, I guess it's good to play, you know, and stuff. But it is interesting just to see the passion the players still have. It is a lot of JV players out there now too.
And the benches have pretty much emptied for both teams, as we're down to 20 seconds to go, and it is going to be a 20-point win for Bloomington North. So no letdown today after a big win Thursday night against Edgewood.
A bit shaky in the first quarter, but yeah, they were definitely able to overcome all that.
Got to finish out 2 more conference games with Columbus North and Terre Haute North, and that will do it. The Cougars win 83-63. As we look at the highlights, and it's Nick Kleiber. He went downtown as he goes to the hoop.
Did it all.
Maybe sold some popcorn at halftime. Max Sullivan with the basket for Whiteland.
Assist.
Nate Tuhel, 2 threes, assist to Kleiber on that one. Drew Higdon scores inside. Isaac Venzel, double figures again, leads this team in scoring. Logan Willoughby dominates for Whiteland. Marco Fitch takes it out, bats it to Tuhel, hits the 3. As that will do it, Bloomington North beats Whiteland 83-63. For all the hardworking women and men behind the scenes, for my partner Jeremy Nutter, I am Nick Jenkinson. We thank you for watching today, and good day from Bloomington North.